Hello everyone, I'm Paulino. I am the founder and host of the Online Teacher Summit, and I'm always looking for different opportunities for online teachers. So I just found about Marisa Constantinides. Did I say that correctly?
Perfect.
Yes. She'll introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her center. Hi.
Hello, Paulino. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is indeed Marisa Constantinides. You articulated that perfectly. And most people have trouble with Greek names, you know. I'm from Athens, Greece, and I'm speaking to you from Athens, where it's beginning to be nice and spring-like weather. And I run a teacher training institution that offers face-to-face and online courses. Perhaps your audience will know of the two courses I'm talking about. They're probably the most quoted courses in all the job adverts on the web. They are the CELT and the Delta by Cambridge University. So we do them face-to-face, but we also do them online. And for any teacher who hopes to be teaching online, it's good to experience an online course because it's a relatively new thing. You know, we probably in the school years, they didn't have that kind of experience. So we do both blended and face-to-face.
Great. So, yeah, so that is great that there are opportunities for people who want to do personal and professional development. They don't have to always go to a center, especially if you're planning to teach online. So does this course have a specific time when it starts and ends? And you mentioned blended components. So what is the in-person part like?
The in-person part is usually the practicum, the teaching practice component, which you cannot do online. I suppose in future it will be done online because, you know, if you teach online, you've got to teach online and be seen teaching online, right? But for the time being, these courses are taught online, the input, the webinar, seminars, you know, how to manage your class, how to do reading and stuff. They're done online, and then the trainees come in and they teach live classes at our center. So that's the practicum part, the face-to-face part. For the CELTA, we offer several courses every year. Typically, we don't run them all, but we do run about 10 or 11 courses every year. And Delta, which is the advanced course, it's a level 7 qualification, almost kind of part of a master's course. We run at least 4 courses every year. That's for more experienced teachers.
Now, you mentioned a little bit who this courses is for, but give us a little more details. Who should take these courses?
I think possibly the CELT is a fairly initial level training course, but it's also taken by many experienced teachers who have been teaching maybe with a TESOL or TOEFL qualification, and they find themselves unable to get jobs abroad. So if people are interested in working in another context to their local kind of institutions, the CELTA or the Delta are very interesting to them because they have worldwide recognition. They are regularly assessed and moderated. There is a governing body that makes sure the quality is always up to par. Every single course is moderated, so the standard is really very, very high.
What kind of students are you getting? And when you do the practice part, what does it look like? What should a student expect to do when they go in person to your center?
The kinds of students that we have are usually the average trainee that we get for CELTA, for example, is not the young university graduate, although we do get some of those as well. But it's teachers who have been teaching for a couple of years and they feel kind of frustrated. They want to do something more, but they don't quite know how to do it. I think you are a teacher yourself, aren't you?
I am.
So you may have had the feeling like, you learn a lot of things from here and there. There's a lot of great opportunities for free professional development, but you need some kind of organizing principle to put it all together and to understand how to use it properly. So that's what the CELTA will do for a beginning or, not very experienced teacher. The Delta is for teachers who want to acquire more depth in their teaching, and they're going for positions of responsibility, seniority, academic directors, directors of studies, managers. Those kinds of positions require a Delta. So that's what this is for. The practicum is a very intense time, where they have to prepare lessons, they have to observe the classes, to get to know the students, to interview them, to find out their needs, and to sit down and design lessons to respond to those needs. So although, the situation is a training situation, this is not really your own class, you get to know the students and you develop an affinity for their problems. They are free students. Many of them are unemployed, or they are immigrants or refugees in Greece. And they're very keen and highly motivated individuals who they absolutely adore being taught by trainee teachers, because, you get the best of everything. People spend the whole night to prepare your lessons. So, they're always treated royally, as it were. Yeah. So they're really very happy. They progress very quickly, and the trainees get a great sense of reward from teaching those kinds of groups.
Okay, so as you probably know, the world of online education, it's big, and it's going to become even bigger as internet access becomes spread around all over the world. Do you get a lot of teachers who are interested in teaching online at your center?
We are, and many of them develop the skills. Mostly the online trainees, because these are the ones who learn from the practice what you preach kind of, principle, because we teach how we train, or we train how we think they should teach. So we try to, and I think by osmosis, even if they're not explicitly learning to teach online, by observing their teachers, because it's a learning experience in itself, they learn a lot of great content and techniques on how to be good online teachers. We do offer specific courses for teaching online for people who we don't want to do these particular courses, but those are separate. They're shorter courses. And, they're not as long as, for example, a Delta or a CELTA course.
Mm-hmm. Can you give an example of one of those courses?
We started doing a teaching online course, teaching by distance or blended learning, that kind of course, initially as a Delta certificate, because teachers can get a Delta certificate by doing this course, because it was one of the options. But we found that a lot of teachers new to online teaching wanted to take that separately, and our first course was designed by someone who is very well known in the profession as a specialist, Nick Peachy. I don't know if you've heard about Nick. And so, we went on from that, and we saw great interest in joining this online teaching course. There's a lot of interest, even from trainees who have completed older courses and shorter courses. Although I think if you look at the teachers who trained up to about 5 years ago, I think they still have a great fear of online teaching, and they're a little bit technophobic. I don't know if you've experienced that.
Well, some, but that's where we're trying to help teachers at the Online Teacher Summit, which is happening April 2nd to April 9th. It's a free virtual conference to help teachers, not just on the methodology and teaching aspect of it, but also the business and, of course, the technology aspect of it. So you are invited to attend, but tell us, if people want to learn more about your courses and your programs, where can they find you?
First of all, we have a very strong online presence, as you may have noticed from how we met online. We have obviously a website. You can find us at celt.edu.gr. You can find about our courses, but we have several big online communities on Facebook. I moderate a weekly chat on Twitter, which is probably known even in Australia or the United States as the mother of all ELT chats. Have you heard about ELT chat?
The hashtag ELT chat? Yes, of course.
Well, I'm one of the moderators, and so I moderate that every week. I think teachers have a lot more opportunities nowadays because people like myself, like yourself, we may be training on scheduled courses and stuff, but we also are committed to disseminating information and giving back to the community by offering free professional development. So we also do a lot of free events, monthly webinars, and I also work as a member of IATEFL Learning Technologies Committee. So I'm online a lot. People can find me quite easily if they want to.
Great. Well, thank you, Marisa, for sharing that information. I'm sure it's going to be very useful for teachers who are looking to continue their professional development. I hope they check out your website, and also everyone who is interested in learning more about teaching online and the business of teaching online can check us out at the Online Teacher Summit. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure, and thank you so much for inviting me. And I'll make sure to log into your event.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.